Look at his head. Bloody hell. Where's your hair gone? Baldy. By the age of 21, 25% of men have male pattern baldness to some degree. I'm 21, look at this mess. At 35, it's up to 66%. That means most of us are f***ed, especially you. According to the American Hair Loss Association, 95% of hair loss in men is caused by too much testosterone, baby. Big guns, innit? I like to imagine I was too tough for my hair, so I packed his bags and f***ed off. Male pattern baldness follows a predictable pattern. Hair starts to thin on top. This pattern may eventually leave a horseshoe of hair around the sides and the back of the head. Hear that, Baldy? You're no better than an horse's foot. The main issue I found with losing my hair was not liking the person I saw underneath it. Me. I was underneath it. I've been losing my hair for a long time, and accompanying that, I can't say a thing. So I've been losing my hair for a long time, and accompanying that, I'm a ginger. A winning combination, ladies? Ladies? Ladies! They left. Off. I scripted some of this. So I've always been self-conscious about the way I look. I've never really liked people looking at me. If I ever go somewhere, I sit in a corner. I don't like to eat in public. I don't like to be in public. I don't like to public. But I never felt like it had a really detrimental effect on my life until I became a social media influencer. A superstar, you might say. You didn't say that? Being on camera and being always judged about the way you act, the way you look, the kind of person you are, it does a lot to your mental health. It makes you question everything you do. Or at least that's my experience with it. Every time I make a video, I find myself looking through the comments to get approval. Whether it's to do with how funny I am or how I look, or whether the video was good enough. And it almost becomes like a drug, because it doesn't matter how many times you get good feedback, you need it. You need more. You need it next time and the time after. And sometimes you get it, but it doesn't feel like you got as much as last time. So wait, what's lacking? Did I not look as good? Did I not have as good a message? Was I not as funny today? No, you weren't. You was worse. And that's okay. I've half scripted and I'm half going off on a whim. So the whimsicals is taking over the scriptions. MJ, you're so funny. You're so handsome. Your hair is so nice. Your d is huge. Okay, nobody ever said that. Well, no, nobody ever. Okay, nobody never, ever. No one's ever thought it. You look at someone like Chris Hemsworth and think, I hope you get hit by a train. We're all thinking it. No, is that just me? He certainly wouldn't look as good, would he? But he's the perfect guy. He's tall, he's ripped, he's funny, he's handsome. He has a full head of luxurious hair. And it always made me think I would look so much better with his hair. Yeah, and his face and his pecs and his horse cock. Yeah. I feel like today's society teaches us that if we desire something enough, we can get it. I'm not saying I want his cock or that I can obtain it somehow. This is way off script now. The structure of today's society tells us that if we want something, we can get it. Want new teeth? Here you go. Want new boobs? Sure. How big? How bouncy? Want a new ass? You can get that as well. Do you want the badunk or the badunkadunk? We also do the double badonka Donkey Kong fat ass maxi if you want that. But it's so heavy it's gonna rip the flesh off your body within 10 years. But it's gonna look good though, yeah? I'll have that. The flesh ripping off my body one with the Donkey Kong ass maxi. How much? My life savings, please. So the hair system is the newest way for men to hide their horsefoot in an attempt to make us feel more confident in ourselves. Horsefoot head, a new way of hiding our shame and disapproval of something about our bodies that we have absolutely no control over. But does it work? Horsefoot. So a few months ago I shaved my head and I decided I was going to embrace the next stage of my life. Old. And I thought I was ready. I was feeling empowered. Until I read my social media accounts. What happened to your hair? MJ, I miss your hair. Hey MJ, you look like my testicle. It has alopecia. Okay, nobody said that. But my desire to fish out the negative comments enlightened me to the fact that I wasn't quite ready to accept that I was never gonna have hair like Dolly Parton. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Wouldn't mind the tits. I looked at balding remedies maybe once, and suddenly I'm being bombarded by ads trying to convince me that the real, confident, outgoing new me is just about 4,000 hair follicles around the corner. I've also recently been bombarded with adverts about shaving my balls. Trust me, I haven't been googling airy sack problems. Although I should probably look down there every once in a while. Oh god. What was the number again? Call 100, shave your sack. Manscaping, eh? Do you take care of your balls? No. So after a long discussion and trying to convince my missus that gluing somebody else's hair to my head was a good idea, I booked an appointment. This is gonna be great. It's gonna help my career. I'm gonna look like a young Wesley Snipes, I thought. My first appointment, I felt completely inadequate. I sat in the reception, looking around, feeling like I was being judged. There was nobody there. I was judging myself. And then a guy who just had his new hair entered the room. He stood in front of me, around 50 years old, and it looked like somebody stuck a dead cat to his head. I'm not even kidding. And I just wondered, what am I doing? What am I doing? I stayed though. So I went upstairs to a room where a lady was to come and see me. I made that sound different. It wasn't that kind of room. The room was actually filled with flies and it was a warm day and they were dead. That should have been my warning, really. Leave. After a friendly conversation, which to be fair, I didn't know I was capable of anymore. She then entered the room with this like piece of hair and put it on top of my head. And it looked good.
I love it.
I looked back at myself and I thought, you know what? If Chris Hemsworth isn't going to do the new Thor, I think I could be a stand-in. I really do. I couldn't stop looking at the flies though. And the lady had a bugger hanging out of her nostril the whole time I was there. I didn't say anything. Are you supposed to? What are you supposed to do in that situation? Do you say something? I don't know. I wonder if it's still there. I left that day knowing that the next time I returned, I was going to be spending around £600 to £700 to stick fake hair to my head in an attempt to make myself feel good about myself, so that people would appreciate me more and that I could do better in my career and feel like I'm the person I always thought I was supposed to be. Someone else. So after weighing everything up, I decided, you know what? I'm never gonna know if I don't try it. I should do this. I should stick this other person's hair to my head and see if that's what makes me feel confident in myself. And so I went. It was the 3rd of August. I spent the money and I went to have this hair on my head. And if you're wondering what the process is, I will explain it. I actually got a little bit of footage too. So basically you have to grow your hair long enough so that they can blend the new hair into the old hair so it looks more realistic. Then they shave that little horseshoe in your head that the internet likes to talk about. I was the dirty horse. They then put an abundance of glue on top of your head. They wait for it to dry a little and then they put more glue on your head, and then here comes the hairpiece. The newly freshly washed hairpiece that they're about to stick to your head. And then they cut it. And I'm not gonna lie, she did a fabulous job. She did great. Did it look convincing? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how realistic it looked. I could tell it wasn't real, but I knew it wasn't. The moment it was stuck on my head, I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, that is not me. The person looking back was not me. And maybe he looked better than me, but it wasn't me. But I thought it's early days yet. I mean, you can get a regular haircut and feel differently about yourself, but after a couple of days, usually then it's like, actually, yeah, it's pretty good, I like it. So I thought I'm gonna give myself some time and really see how I feel. So I got home and all the feedback I got was good. People really liked it. But the problem was, I didn't like it. I didn't like anything about what it stood for and how I felt about myself. So that evening I made a TikTok video. I wanted to try out the piece, you know? I wanted to try out the new me, and I wanted a little bit of video footage to have on record. I wanted people to see it, and I wanted to eat up the feedback, you know? And I had good feedback. People were saying some really positive things. Everyone was like, whoa, the new hair. Wow, the hair looks great. But they weren't complimenting me. They were complimenting something that didn't belong to me. It wasn't me. They were complimenting some random ginger guy that shaved their hair off and sold it to an hairdresser's. That's who they were complimenting. It could have been Ed Sheeran's Manscaped results that was stuck on my head for all I know. Imagine, eh? I'm walking around feeling like $1,000,000 with Ed Sheeran's ball hair on my head. So then came the trauma. I went to bed that night, feeling lost. Feeling like I didn't know myself. I had a headache. I think it was due to stress. The actual wig itself was pretty light, but for some reason it felt really heavy on my head. I rest my head on the pillow and I was trying to sleep, but I was too aware of this thing suffocating my skull. I started to feel like it was growing in size and I was shrinking with every second that it was placed on my head. And the knowledge of not knowing if I could take it off or not was starting to panic me. Like this new thing, this new identity was going to consume the old one, and I was going to be left as this fake new version of me, a better one, but one that isn't real. I started to feel like I wanted to scratch and peel and pick at it, and then I kept on peeling for about 1 centimeter, and then I was like, oh shit, this thing's stuck on my head. And then I really started to panic because I was like, I don't even know that I can remove it, and I want to remove it now. I need to know that this thing doesn't belong to me. At midnight, I sat in the shower, on the floor of the shower, naked, peeling away this new hairpiece that was supposed to make me feel good about myself. And it hurt taking that thing off. Not emotionally, physically. The thing I thought was ripping my skin off. I kept checking to see if I was bleeding, because that thing was glued on proper. Kept peeling away for the best part of 45 minutes to an hour, until it was finally off my head. All was left was clumps of glue and my horseshoe hair. And I never felt happier. I felt so free. I grabbed the hair clippers and I shaved that horseshoe right off my head. No more horseshoe for me, baby. Then I had to shave some glue that was still stuck to my head as well, and I washed it off in the shower, and I stepped out the shower and I looked at my bald self, and I never felt so accepting of myself as I did in that moment. I finally saw me, like the real me. I'll tell you, I feel like I needed that experience to really accept who I am. I'm synonymous for wearing hats. I don't know what synonymous means, so that may or may not have worked. But I'm always wearing them. Caps, beanies, I've got an abundance of them. I haven't put a hat on my head since that day. I have walked around with this beautiful bald head like it's a prize. Like it's a prize that I'm gifting to the world. You are welcome. Now, I'm not telling everybody in the world that they should take off their wigs and their nails and their fake teeth and their makeup and all their clothes. Maybe. But what I am saying is, if you keep having to put on new layers to make you feel good about yourself, there's always going to be something else you find about yourself you're not going to like. The reality is that we have to start accepting who we are for us to be truly happy. Not this pretend happy. Looks fade, but cheeseburgers don't. I didn't know how to finish that sentence. I love a cheeseburger. I had one for breakfast. A double. I've just finally accepted that this is what I look like, and it doesn't matter if people would consider me a 3 or a 5 or a 6. It doesn't matter, because this is what I am. Hello everyone, I'm MJ. Nice to meet you.